I can't believe we might be getting over 1,000 stones again. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here, and we're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are going to try to figure out how many stones we can expect to see during this year's worldwide celebration. In order to do that, we are going to take a look at the previous year's worldwide celebrations to get an idea of what to expect. So we're going to go ahead and jump over it. We're going to start with the countdown celebration. How many stones we're currently getting from this campaign, and then we'll jump off from there. So from the current worldwide download celebration countdown campaign, it is looking like we are getting quite a few stones from the countdown missions, these ones here, or the login bonus rather, and we'll be getting 10 stones in total from this countdown login. So right now we're on day, where are we, day 3? Or 3 days left, so we're over here. So 2 more days for another 5 set of stones to collect up 10 stones in total. Moving on, we have this worldwide celebration campaign. Let's just assume, for the sake of argument, that we're going to get all 200,000 returning players. So you could expect another 10 stones from there. So in this current countdown celebration, besides all your regular daily logins and missions and all that other stuff, you're getting approximately 20 stones so far. Moving on, there are a few other ways so far during this countdown campaign we're getting stones. There are the Ginyu Force fighting stones that go on until the 25th, and I'm not going to necessarily count this because it'll be depending on your day, but you can get anywhere from it runs for 6 days, so you can get anywhere from 6 stones to, if you got extremely lucky and got 7 every single day, you could be getting over 40 stones. So it really depends on the luck here. So we won't count those, but just know that that is a avenue for stones. But one thing we do have this year during the countdown campaign is this Dokkan Scout campaign. So with the Dokkan Scout, if you manage to get somebody under rank 100 to scout your QR code and complete all the missions, you can actually get 50 stones. If you're on the other side of that and you are the person under rank 100, complete the missions in your game and you will receive 50 stones as well. So, so far we are looking at 50, 60, 70 stones from this year's countdown campaign. But that's not all, because Dokkan has been running stuff on social media that's been giving us stones. And so far, we've got the Dokkan Scout social media campaign, which has gave us 3 and 2 stones so far. If we get 600,000 invited players, we will get another 5 stones. So 10 stones in total from this. Let's assume we're going to complete it, and that's another 10 stones added to our total so far. So just from the countdown campaign alone, we are getting about 80 stones. Moving on, we've also been getting stones from this daily Twitter event thing. So at starting way back at 5 days, there's 4. I'll scroll down a little bit more. 5 days, 6 days, and let's go back to the first one, 7 days. So we were basically do a little Twitter mission, Facebook mission, and you get 2 extra stones for simple things. So we got 2 at 7, so that's 2, 4 at 6, keep going, 5, that's 6, we got 8, and we are just cleared 3, so... Oh no, we'll clear 3 tomorrow. Clear a team with Wicked Bloodline. So that'll be, if we're getting 2 stones every day, that'll be 14 stones in total if they're running this for all 7 days. So we add that to our 80. We're looking at just under 100 stones, 94 stones from the Countdown campaign alone. So that is guaranteed for this year, plus the 60 stones we'll be getting from the live stream whenever that happens. They've already told us that they'll be handing out 60 stones during that live stream. So about 154 stones from the Countdown campaign on both Global and JP Dokkan. Now, that's not all we're going to get. We want to know how much we're going to be getting in Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 of these campaigns. So in order to figure that out, we're going to go ahead and jump on over to the Dokkan Wiki, and we're going to take a look at the Dragonstones earned on Global. Since I am a Global main, I will be focusing on the Global countdown. So just to get a rough idea, we are going to compare last year's Worldwide with the previous Worldwide to just get a rough estimate of what we can expect. So we are already past last year's countdown campaign, which only gave out 35 stones, right? You're getting 150 stones almost this year. Compare that to the previous year. Their countdown campaign was 131 stones. This was the Super Vegito year, 2020. So they got 130 stones way back when, and last year we only got 35. So we're ahead of last year and ahead of the year before. So already looking good. So let's look at Part 1 of last year's campaign. Part 1, through login bonuses, you were getting about 44 stones. Missions and daily missions, another 40 stones. And there was a boss rush. We don't know if there's a boss rush, but I'm sure there might be something, along with the returning player campaign for 15. New Dokkan stages. We know there's going to be 2 new Dokkan stages for the new LR, so 4 stones. There will be an Ultimate Clash for 40 stones. Co-op campaign, which is pretty consistent, for 10 stones. Now, the rest of these may not necessarily happen, like this Courage to the Max Warriors Gathered Before the Kai. We may not see something like this, but there might be something similar, right? Along with the Trial Towards New Horizons. We may not see that one either, because this was the one for the EZA Ginyu Force stage. So we might not, or not the Ginyu Force stage, but the one for the tickets to get their hidden potential skill orbs. So there might not be that extra stone right there, right? But moving on, definitely there will be free-to-play events. We don't know exactly how many stages there's going to be, but we can assume anywhere between 6 to 10 stones, depending on how many stages there are. Collection of epic battles, we can strike that, the 20 from there, because, well, I mean, who knows? We might get more stages, we might not. We don't know yet. But for sure, there will be some EZA during this celebration. We don't know who, but we can assume 30 stones from there. Along with, we did get info that there was a Gohan event that was starting, so there might be something related to that for the Dragonstone collecting. As well as if we get any first rank during this time. So last year's campaign got about 377 stones during their Part 1. Compare that to the previous year. This was the Vegito celebration. They got over 400 stones, and this was from a lot of similar events that were available as well. Right? We got the EZAs, the Dokkan Clashes, the launch event, which is similar to the Bulma, and this year's Gohan event, so a boss rush and several other things. So we can assume somewhere between 300, well, let's go on the low side, let's go 350 and about 400 stones. Again, we'll go on the low side, so somewhere between 350 and 400 stones we can expect. So add that to the 150 we already know we're getting, and we are looking at about 500 or 700 stones, depending on which way they go with these. Moving on, let's look at Part 2 of last year's celebration. So again, with the login bonuses, all the missions and daily missions, plus that 10 stone thing, that 10 stone daily Bulma event, you got 130 stones. We may not see that much, because reading the info from the VJUP scan sounds like they fixed the Gohan event where it's 30 stones a week, so we may not see this much, but that'll still be like 90 stones here, I think, right? If it's depending on how long Part 2 lasts. Along with all these other events, there was this Breaking the Siege. This was that Bardock event where it was like facing off against Frieza in front of Planet Vegeta. I don't know if we'll have something similar to this. We might not. Remains to be seen. There were EZAs during this time, so lots of things, plus more additions to those free-to-play stages. So we can expect to see a lot of this stuff going on, and a similar number here, I feel like, around 300. But we'll strike 30 because we don't know like this, but I'm sure we'll be getting some other stuff as well. So we'll just drop the number down to around 300, because when we compare that to part 2 on this one was only a part 2, right? They had around the same, around 300. So we'll err on the lower side. I don't want to overestimate and tell you something wrong, but you add the 300 from their part 2 in both of these, we're looking at about, what did we have? 150 plus 350, so anywhere from 800 stones from in total up to part 2 to 1,000 stones, depending on whether or not we're on the higher end of this part 1, right? Moving on, last year we did have a part 3. We don't know this year if it's a part 3 because that was a new trend started last year. So if there is a part 3, there were 300 stones in total from that part 3, which gave last year a total of 1,100 stones, thanks to all of this. So again, we'll err on the lower side here, and let's just say 300 flat. So we can be expecting anywhere between 1,000 and about 1,400 stones, depending on, or 1,300 stones rather, depending on what side they go with some of these extra stone missions. I'm going to say we're probably going to be closer to the 12 to 1,300 number, because that's about the same we got from the anniversary. So it would make sense that this being the second biggest celebration in Dokkan for the year, it would sound right that these track. So expect anywhere between 1,000 to about 1,200 to 1,300 stones from worldwide campaign. And again, this is assuming you don't spend it all. But if you're somebody who needs those stones to summon on the Dokkan Fest LR Cooler and Super Saiyan Goku banners when they finally drop during part 1 of these campaigns, the 1,200 stones will definitely help you out. So, anyways, guys, hopefully you guys kind of enjoyed this little countdown. You get an idea of how many stones you can be expecting and start to prioritize characters you want to summon on for this year's worldwide celebration. This is going to be a big one, going to be a lot of hype stuff coming, and lots of stones coming. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And in the comments down below, let me know, do you think we're going to be on the higher side of the stones this year, or are we going to be on the lower side like previous years where we only got 900? What do you guys think? I'm erring on the higher side because I'm an optimist, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.